Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of Evolve Podcast. Now guys, thank you so much for the love and support that you've shown us on our previous episode 1. Now if you haven't watched it, please go back and watch right now. And make sure you tell your friends to do that. Okay? Okay. Now, in this episode, I'm so excited because we're going to talk about a topic that hits close to home: breakups, heartbreaks. It's something that I'm sure all of us are familiar with. And so today I'm so excited to also bring a guest to us who's going to share her journey together with us. And of course, everything in between, the healing, the moving on, all these processes. She's not just a guest, but she's a special friend to me. We work together, and of course we also minister together, someone that we share the same faith. And so yes, hi beautiful. Oh,
Hello,
you look, what
hi.
is going on here? You look so beautiful today and so
Thank
lovely.
you, Mazini Jesus. And drinking water.
And water and
And minding your own
business.
right.
Of course. I hope
Yeah.
you learned something kidogo. And so tell us about, first of all, thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to have you here. You have no idea.
Yeah.
And so would you just tell the people, what is your name? What is it that you do? Unajua watu wanakujua.
All right.
Wanashangaa name.
So first, it's such an honor,
Yeah.
such a delight to be on this podcast. I have been here from the conception of this
Yes,
podcast, partly
please.
behind the scenes.
Right.
And it's such a joy, such an honor to now sit on this couch with you. You're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so my name is Ruby Ogutu. On Instagram, on TikTok, and every other social media platform, it's Lady Ruby. I am a content creator, a social media manager, and the co-founder of Quello Creatives.
Hey.
I'm also a worship minister.
Yes.
We serve in the same church, and I love the Lord.
Amen. Amen, my sister.
Hallelujah.
I love that you said you love the Lord. And of course, let's just get into it. People, I'm sure they're so excited to hear what is it that, we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
I just have one question, Ruby. Have you ever referred to someone as your world? Sisi.
I have, I know you're gonna say nyinyi wengine mwishi wapi.
Jamani.
Hiyo ni mambo yenu.
Ulikuwa umesema nyinyi mkae.
Hiyo ni mambo yenu. But definitely, young love, and it causes you to believe in so many fantasies, and so you call someone your world, your sunshine,
your pillar of strength.
Absolutely.
Hey, that's so crazy, man.
Hata saizi hata saizi siwezi ogopa kuita mtu hivyo, kwani
my pillar of strength.
Mjipange kule mtaishi nikikuwa na the world.
Lord, remember us. So, Ruby, thank you so much for that. Now let's just go right into it.
Yeah.
Relationships.
Yeah.
Would you just tell us about this one relationship that really hit hard? And how did it begin? How was it even before the breakup that you're going to talk to us about today?
Yeah.
How was it? What is this relationship? What was that?
Yeah, so one particular relationship comes to mind. How did it begin? In campus. In campus, they say don't make the mistake of dating your classmate.
Yeah.
That's the mistake I made.
You dated your classmate.
I dated my classmate. I should have listened. But yeah, when I got into campus in my first year of campus, I was a very shy girl. So had to believe, because right now I know like I'm a bit out there.
Yeah.
But in campus I was very shy. I didn't know anyone. I had trouble making friends. So I didn't really bother making friends.
Yeah.
And then in my second semester, this guy who had noticed me in my first semester because we are classmates, he approached me and he took me out on a fancy date pale Java. And at that time, Java was
the it.
Let me tell you, I was so impressed. I was so impressed. But we went for a date, and then after that, we started dating shortly after. It was almost immediately. So yeah, that's how the relationship began. We went on with the relationship for a while, for I think about 2 years, close to 2 years. So it was some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful looking back. Yani then now.
Then.
It was beautiful. There was no any sign that was there any sign that the relationship was ending?
Well, initially it was very beautiful. It was very beautiful because there's something about being loved and belonging, that sense of belonging you get when you're with someone.
Yeah.
And especially when you're in campus, it even makes campus life more enjoyable.
Right.
You know, they say don't date your classmate, but the pros of it is it makes you enjoy school more.
Right.
Because just knowing I'm waking up to go to class tomorrow and I'm gonna see my boyfriend,
It's
exam
just
time, we're gonna sit next to each other,
Yeah.
we're gonna help each other with the assignments. It was beautiful. It was amazing. But yes, I did see signs when
Yeah.
it was coming to an end. There were many signs, but I think one that I can talk about was that I would cry a lot in that relationship.
Oh.
And you know, there's a time that my mom had told me, my mom has given me so much advice about relationships over the time that I've been growing up.
Yeah.
But one thing that stuck with me is that she told me, if you're in a relationship where you are constantly crying, he constantly makes you cry, that's a red flag. Because it's okay to fight, it's okay to have disagreements, but now when there's a lot of tears, there's a lot of heartbreak, every day is fighting, every day is tears, that's when I began to pick up like, okay, this is not normal. Because I think that it's okay to fight maybe once or twice a month, maybe thrice, but fighting 5 times a week.
Hey,
so
that's
like
toxic.
we
It's
spend
becoming,
we spend most of our time beefing more than actually enjoying the relationship. I started to see the end from early on.
Now that you've just mentioned about it ending like that, so did it occur to you in those moments? I'm just trying to think that this is someone that, you know, when you in campus, this is someone that loves you, someone that treats you well, someone that you're used to them, and now finally it's you guys are fighting, and it's actually coming you're coming to realize that this thing might be ending anytime right now. So how did you feel? Did you want to fight for the relationship? We want to know, did you ever try to fix it? You know, you're crying, and alikuwa anafanya nini, by the way?
Alikuwa anafanya nini? Nijibu gani kwanza?
Unataka kulia, wewe kwanza jibu.
Well, you know, when we came into the relationship, I usually set certain parameters. I don't know if we should call them parameters, rules, but such that, an example, if you're not a Christian, we can't date. If we don't share certain values, we can't date. You know, and even when we went for that first date I was telling you at Java, I had already listed these things. Anytime someone would approach me, I would tell them, okay, so these are my 4 basics. If you can't meet this, it's going to be difficult. You know, if you're into drug abuse and alcohol or using all those sorts of things, it's a no for me, no matter how amazing you are. And so on that first date, I stated those things. And I feel like sometimes there's a downside to that. Because if someone really likes you, they're going to do everything to prove to you that they can meet those parameters, even if they cannot. And that's exactly what happened. Because I told him, these are the things I'm okay with, and these are the things I'm not okay with. And he was like, yeah, I agree with you. And so initially, I bought into the idea. And he tried to fit into that kind of person I had wanted. But then, sasa ikafika a point where it was now just like, the true colors are coming out, you get? Sasa, an example is when we started dating, like I have already mentioned, I had already said, drugs, alcohol, all those sorts of things is not something that I can be comfortable with. And we were good for like the first 1 year. But then I started hearing stories from my classmates that whenever I would go home over the weekend, yendo alikuwa anachafulia watu meza. Yendo alikuwa anaambia, after exactly. Anasema ati, I agree with you. He tried to model himself as the perfect Christian because I was very keen on dating a Christian and someone who subscribes to the values that I share. But then now, when I'm not there, because I would always go home for the weekend so that I'm able to go to church, I would come back to class on Monday and my friends would tell me things about this guy. I'd say, oh yeah, he was, you know, smoking weed or doing all these sorts of things that for me at that time, I had stated I'm not comfortable with. And so constantly that kept on getting worse and worse. We ended up fighting. The fights were not good because, again, we were not really great at conflict resolution, which was a part to play on both our parts. So yeah, those are some of the things. There was so much in that relationship that led to the breakdown, both from my side and from his side. But one thing I can say is that we really did not share the values. And somehow he had managed to convince me in the beginning that no, we share the same values. We can totally do this. But you know, the true colors always come out. So,
And so when the true colors actually came out and you're like, no, this one I can't. Remember also, this is someone that you're actually in love with.
In love.
And as ladies, we usually have this idea of fantasy. Already when someone is there telling you, oh, Ruby, I love you, whatever, you've already seen them in suit.
You're planning a wedding in your head. I have sent my bridesmaid proposal.
Invitation is ready. The cards are ready. And so once you see these behaviors, kuna kuangana ile moment I'm thinking it's a denial, like you're tempted to fight for the relationship regardless of the values that you actually. Did you ever find yourself compromising?
You know, one thing about being Christians, and particularly Christian girls, there's what is called dating for just dating, dating for fun, and then there's dating for marriage. Dating for marriage is what we are taught, is what we are advised, but we are also not taught the dangers of coming in with a marriage mindset from the beginning. I have always dated for marriage. So even at that age of 19 in campus, I'm already seeing a husband. Because if I can't see a husband
then
in you,
what's the point
of dating you, right? But then the dangers of that is that you compromise a lot when you know that this person is not meant for you. Because at some point, you do figure out, this person is not for me. But then because you've already crafted a scenario in your head of how you could be married, you have probably already told your mom, you've probably already discussed kids, or where will we settle down, around when do you think we can get married, we finish school first. So when you've had all those discussions and you've invested emotionally, financially, everything, because you are preparing yourself for marriage and you're preparing the relationship for marriage, it becomes very, very difficult to break that relationship. And so I ended up compromising a lot, even when I knew, I knew the relationship was not working. And another thing, there's this thing about God confirming to you about your partner. It is not a lie.
It is not a lie. Yes.
Do you know, in this relationship, God did not outrightly come and tell me that this is not your person, but God was silent. God was very silent the entire relationship. When I'm praying about him, when I'm asking God, oh God, you know, we have these desires, when we get married, God was silent. You know, when I was, God, we're fighting about this thing, how do I approach it? God was silent. And that should have been a red flag to me, but I chose to see it as, maybe I'm not hearing God right, you know? But like, God was silent. I knew God was not in it. And then I tried all I could to make it work. I really compromised. JJ, I really compromised. And I would say that is one of my failures in this relationship. Because I said we dated for close to 2 years, but from after the 1 year mark, I already knew this is not going to go anywhere. I spent the next 1 year fighting for something that I knew God was not in it. I wasted my time and I wasted his time. You know, so I think I did compromise quite a bit.
And I really love the fact that you've just mentioned God in that. Most of us we lean on our own understanding.
Absolutely.
Because people say that there's this prayer, that the quick prayers that we make, Lord, if he's not for me, make him disappear.
Make him disappear.
Jameni, kijana na disappear, hata ujui amedisappear
immediately. That one God answers with immediate effect.
With immediate effect. And also taking time, what I'm getting from that is taking time to actually seek God.
Absolutely.
In relationships, you know, something that you really want long term, and just involving him in it, it's actually very important.
It's very important.
That's something that actually people don't really like to do it, because they feel like, hey, if I talk to God about this,
he might take this one away.
Take this one away.
Yeah.
But have you ever thought about, you know, just telling the people, like, have you ever thought about that all things work together for good for those who love the Lord, right? And so please, kama uko hapo na uko kwa wrong relationship because you don't want to pray about it, please
just make the prayer.
Just make the prayer.
You know, they say that the choice of a life partner is a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
Quite literally. quite literally, you can't play about that. You can't play about the fact that, okay, I'm not going to ask God because maybe he's not for me and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. But that pain of losing that boyfriend right now or that girlfriend right now is better than it ending in divorce.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So now, thank you so much for that, Ruby. Now, the relationship has ended.
It has.
It has ended now. In that moment of relationship ending, this is something that you wanted and you were just like, God, please make this work, something like that. How did you feel in that moment?
Wow, that was one of the hardest times of my life.
Yeah.
It was very painful. I think loss is painful, even when you know that God did not want you to be in that situation.
Yeah.
The attachment that you formed, the investment, the emotional investment that you put in this relationship, it will hurt. And I can say it was painful. It was a very difficult period. I was really young, and it's that space where you're too young to be experiencing relationship heartbreak.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what was I, 20?
I mean, 20.
And then now, so who are you going to talk to about it? Especially the older people, because it's like, what business do you have crying about something like this, But it was painful. And then another thing, it was a very lonely period.
Right.
Because when you're just used to having someone around, especially that young, now the relationship is over, you have no idea where to go or what to do. You've had a great day, you don't know who to tell. You've had a bad day, you don't know who to tell. Because yes, you have friends, and I had friends, and it was amazing that I had friends in that period who stood with me. I had one particular friend who was there for me the entire time. She was such an amazing friend. However, it cannot replace a boyfriend.
It's true.
It's just different.
Like that's heartbreak.
It's just different, and it was so painful. But Maze, you just have to go through it. Because what happens is when the loneliness hits, you're very tempted to get a rebound. You're very tempted to, okay, fine, I can just find someone else. And there's always gonna be people around you, because even for me in that season, obviously kuna watu wanakukatia, kuna watu wamekuwa kingoja their chance.
Sema ameshatoka.
Exactly. It's now my chance to get in. It's very easy to do that because it numbs the pain. It makes you forget the pain. But it was hard. It was hard. It was really, really hard. It was very painful. It was a very lonely season. I think that's one of the biggest things I can remember from that season.
So what I'm getting from that is that due to the breakup, the heartbreak, your day-to-day life started changing. Because even how you're reacting, how you're feeling. Because heartbreak, literally, it's like I don't know, una feel the pain.
Even physically. Do you know that? You feel it here in your heart.
Yeah. And so when you talked about the friends that were there for you, they're actually there for you genuinely. And kuna kwanga na hii advice zenye friends they usually give to the people just from heartbreak. You just move on, just heal, just get over it. It was not the best for you. So I usually, what do you think about that? Because I usually feel like friends also should play a part whereby they give grace to the people, like understand that you're hurt, but you can also take time to just heal, no pressure, but see layer advice. You need to heal. You're crying over this guy. You need to do better. So what would you say about that?
Here's the thing, and I totally get what you're saying, because the reason why friends advise you that way is because even they are uncomfortable with you being in pain. So they're pushing you to move from the pain really quickly because it's hard. It's hard to watch. I mean, I love you. You're my friend. I can see you're crying. I can see how much you're hurting. Of course, I want you to get over this. So I'm going to tell you things like, there's more fish in the sea. Like there's better people out there for you. You're going to cry over one person, But here's the thing about it. You can't heal without processing the pain.
You can't.
What you're going to do is push things under the carpet. And one day it's going to come back to bite you because you didn't deal with that pain. And so the first thing I would say about that is you have to go through the pain. You actually have to experience the pain. You have to allow yourself to feel. If it means you lock yourself in your room and you cry and you journal and you call a friend and you rant, you need to do that because that is part of the healing. However,
process.
You need to do it with boundaries. Why? Because if you don't, it can quickly accelerate into depression, into something else. Now, umekuwa so heartbroken, you've locked yourself in, it's now a week, it's now 2 weeks. Now that's terrible. So I think it's important to feel the pain, it's important to process the pain, but with boundaries. And another thing, the Bible tells us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. You cannot lean on your own understanding. Please. Even when it comes to heartbreak, you don't know how to do it. Imagine you don't. I found myself in that season even Googling how to forget about your ex-boyfriend.
What to do when you miss your ex-boyfriend.
Exactly. How to heal from the pain. Unaandika vitu zingine zinaku, yani you're looking for all sorts of ways to deal with this. But let me tell you, the Bible constantly reminds us as believers, lean not on your own understanding. That means you have to lean on his understanding. You have to involve God in it. So I mean, you constantly have to consult God, pray about it, and just trust that God will carry you through that season.
Yeah, I really, really love that when you mentioned about God. Let God carry you. Now, in that process of healing, even as we just wind up, most people, the first thing that you said, most people do actually is get someone a rebound. They make them feel good. They're not lonely anymore. But yet people also forget that there is this emptiness that only God can fill, not even people. That's when I realizing after you're heartbroken, you're going outside, you party, people who party. So, like, I'm at church with the girls. After now you're back in the room alone. It just hits you. And so I'm curious just to know that other than these other steps of like crying, talking to your friends, when you feel that moment that you're feeling really heartbroken, what other like self-care things that you did that really helped you to just emerge and just choose Ruby? I'm choosing Ruby. Ruby deserves the best. Ruby, this is for Ruby. What is it that you did?
Wow. Well, after I got past the place of crying and now just locking myself in with my curtains shut for days, one of the most important things was I really, really indulged myself in ministry.
Oh, wow.
Yani, I was serving everywhere. And when I look back, maybe it was kind of a coping mechanism. But, I mean, is that not a better coping mechanism than alcohol? Than partying? There's so many things. If it's going to be just a coping mechanism, it better be in the church.
Please.
It was because now I spent a lot of time with my church friends. I was always serving in ministry, praise and worship niko hapo, media ministry niko hapo. Yani hadi nikaingia kwa chama ya kanisa. Yani my life was in the church. And there's something about being with people. The devil thrives in secrecy. And when you're shutting yourself in that bedroom and you're crying for days, that is where the devil will find you and begin to whisper to you things how, you are not even worth it. That relationship did not even last because you're not even a good person. You might never even find someone else. Look at how long you've dated. Who do you think? The devil comes in those moments of secrecy. And that's why it is important to surround yourself with good people. Good people might be your friends. Good people might be your family. Good people might be in the church, wherever it is that you can find good company. That's one of the first things I did. Another thing is I got myself into a lot of physical fitness. Nakwambia hiyo season nilikuwa neka YouTube hata si gym. Hiyo time sikuwa na afford gym, I was just a student. So what I used to do, nilikuwa naenda YouTube zile za kina Clue Eating. Hizo naziweka YouTube nakwambia I do those workouts. I break a sweat. I am feeling my best. Because again, it releases, is it adrenaline or dopamine? That feel good feeling.
Let us know.
Unasikia so nice. It gives me purpose because now in the morning I know I have to do my workout. I wake up, I do my workout, I drink my water. Somehow, there's a way it wires your brain to release a lot of feel-good hormones. It was a life changer.
Oh, I love that. So now I am just so curious, even as we end this. I'm so sad to know that it's ending. How did that breakup change you as a person? How do you now approach relationships differently? So now, did you become a better person? I know through workouts and everything, you definitely become a better person. And even just the wisdom you're oozing, my friend.
Come on.
The Lord is amazing. So what is it that changed about you? You realize kile kitu change about you?
I think, just to make it short, I really focused on having my relationships centered on God. Because at that time, I was just happy to be loved. And we rarely prayed together. I don't remember many times when we prayed together, many times when I consulted God on things. But ever since then, I became very keen on centering my relationships on God, and not just my romantic relationships, but even my platonic relationships. Even just consulting God on, God, is this the person you want to be in my life? Because sometimes we bring our own heartbreaks on ourselves because we don't want to ask God. Unaingia tu unadhani unajua. Unaingia kimandazi hapo ati, you know me, I like this person, they're treating me well. Unaingia tu hapo ndani. Let me tell you, JJ, I really learned consult God on everything. Even the smallest things. Even the small, yani hata kuuliza tu God, leo nivae nini? God literally answers everything, and for me it changed everything. So from that moment, I can say the one way it changed me, I really centered everything on God.
That's so amazing to know. So the people who are actually going through heartbreak right now, they don't even have hope that God really restores. What is that? Is there like hope? Would you just look at the camera and just tell them something? People are going through it.
God restores. God restores. He does. He does. God is a God of restoration. And we have seen so many scenarios even in the Bible of God restoring. You know, sometimes when you're in that pain, you think that you're the only one who's experiencing that pain. No one has seen it worse than you, and there's no way you'll come out of it. But I just want to encourage you, if you're going through any sort of relationship heartbreak, it can really hurt. And especially in the church, I feel like we don't really talk enough about heartbreaks in relationships and how to deal with it. You just show up na tunakuuliza, kwani what happened with you and Nani? And sometimes it can even make you want to stay away from church. It can make you want to stay away from your friends. Because utaki kuuliza what happened. But I can tell you one thing. God heals everything. And if he can heal sicknesses, if he can heal cancer, if he can heal all sorts of diseases, trust me, he can heal the pain in your heart. So,
Wow. Thank you so much, Ruby, for that and gracing this episode with your presence and wisdom. And of course, I know that people have learned so much. And please let us know in the comment, what is it that you have learned and what are the steps that you're making to ensure that you become even a better person. And so just tell these people, where can they find you?
You can find co-founder. You can find me on Instagram, on TikTok. Those are my main social media platforms. Both are lady.ruby_. So you can find me on Lady Ruby on Instagram and on TikTok. And come, let's have fun. I have a really fun platform going on there. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I can attest. Please make sure you follow. Tunakuja hapo. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please let us know what is it that you have learned again. What is it that you want us to do next time? Please make sure you like this video, share, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.